afternoon and welcome back to Football League World TV. It's time for the EFL Tuesday night preview show here on the channel. We've got loads of EFL action on this evening and tomorrow. We're going to be touching on tonight's games in particular. My name is Sam Rourke, the Chief Editor of Football League World UK, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues, Ben and Chris. Ben, how are we this afternoon?
Yeah, all good. Looking forward to getting back to Deepdale tonight. First night game of the season. PN against Rotherham again. We'll be touching on later on in the show. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to looking at all EFL action. It's pretty interesting when there's a full card of all three leagues. So yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Absolutely. Chris, how you getting on?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, we're still trying to work out what the teams are like, aren't we, really, after a few games? So it'll be interesting to see tonight's games and how they go.
Yeah, we don't have time to touch upon every single EFL game this evening, so we've selected 4 from the Championship, 3 from League One, and 2 from League Two. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, so get yourself in the comments. Send in your score predictions for tonight's games. We really do want to hear from you. Right, let's start off in the Championship. Right, we're going to start off taking a look at Burnley versus Hull this evening. It's been a cracking start for Hull City in particular. They sit second in the Sky Bet Championship League table, unbeaten in their first 3 league games. Picked up an impressive 2-1 win at home last time out against Norwich City. Oscar Estupiñán, if I pronounce that right, scored 2 goals for the Tigers as Shota Arveladze's side continue their impressive run of form. As for Burnley, it's been a mixed start to the season for them. 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss so far. So it's set to be an intriguing clash tonight at Turf Moor. Ben, let's come to you first on this one. How do you see this game panning out?
I think you meant to Estupiñán.
That's the one, yeah. That's
it's a difficult one to pronounce. For Burnley, I thought they were pretty unlucky against Watford. I think they were the better team in the final third. They were just a little bit wasteful in front of goal, but Daniel Backman did make some inspired saves, didn't he, in that second half to deny them. And I think if they do get similar chances against Hull, I think they could come out on top. I still think Burnley need a striker. I'm unsure about Ashley Barnes in this Vincent Kompany system where the attacking system seems to be pretty fluid. But I think if Hull play the way they did in their only other away game against Preston, I think Burnley could have them for the taking. I was pretty surprised that Hull have got 7 points out of 9. It's no disrespect to them, but when I did see them at Deepdale last week, they were pretty poor and toothless in front of goal. And I think after an hour, they set up for a point. But something's clearly working at home. It's a bit of a different test on the road. They'll go into Turf Moor on a Tuesday night. I think they'll set up and look to frustrate Burnley from the off. And I'm not sure defensively, even though they've got a few good players like Jacob Greaves, I'm not sure they'll have enough over the course of the 90 minutes to stop Burnley's, attacking threats. You've got Manuel Benson now, who's a tricky winger. He can potentially provide that game-winning threat, but I think Burnley will have enough tonight to come out on top.
Chris, in terms of Hull City so far, it's been an impressive start for Arveladze's side in the Championship. Have you been surprised at how well they've started, or did you expect them to start this well? And there's been a lot of sort of turnover in terms of transfers in this summer window. Are you surprised at how well they started?
Yeah, but I kind of agree with Ben there. I think the performances probably haven't warranted the 7 points that Hull have picked up. I think he's obviously mentioned the Preston game there, and I think against Norwich on Saturday they were outplayed for large parts, really. So you can't knock them for getting the 3 points, obviously, but I do think it's still very much a work in progress, and there is a lot of work for Arveladze to do. But yeah, that, as you've touched on there's a massive turnover in the summer, so we shouldn't have been expecting the finished article at this stage. It's obviously going to take time. There's new players learning, meeting new teammates, learning new systems for some, and it is going to take time. So I think to get points on the board at this stage will help improve the spirit within the group and the togetherness. And there still are tweaks that they do need to improve in terms of the transfer market and getting some players back now from injury. But yeah, I think that there is room for improvement, but it's a very good start, and it'll be interesting to see how they do, how long it does last for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just finally then on this, Ben, which players from either side do you think can make a real impact on tonight's game? We've seen Josh Cullen really impress in a claret shirt so far. Obviously, Estepinen scoring 2 last time out against Norwich. Are there any players you feel could make a real impact on tonight's game?
Well, Josh Cullen did impress me on Friday night against Watford, but I think with this, he's obviously a holding midfielder, and I think this match, I don't think Hull are really going to be threatening a lot and being on the front foot. So I think it might be a bit of a quiet game for him. Obviously, I think if Manuel Benson starts, he's going to give Callum Elder a tricky time at left back, and also Ian Matson on the left at left back, bombing down the left wing could give Coyle a tough time. So I think that those two there, Benson and Matson, could provide the key to Burnley's creativity this evening.
Right. If you are watching this, please do send in your score predictions for each of the games we're going to be touching on. Wayne Walden, good to have you with us. Wayne's predicting a 3-1 win for Vincent Kompany's men this evening. Right, Chris, let's get your score prediction for Burnley Hull tonight.
I'm going to go 2-1 to Burnley.
Okay, Ben, what are you going for?
I'll go for a Burnley win as well, but I'll go 2-0.
Okay, Burnley wins all round. As I said, please do get your comments in. We want to hear from you. Right, up next, we're going to be talking all things Queen's Park Rangers. They take on Blackpool at Loftus Road this evening. It was a remarkable game for QPR last time out in the Sky Bet Championship. A 2-2 draw with the Black Cats at the Stadium of Light. A last-second Seny Dieng equaliser for the R's in what was a pretty remarkable turn of events up there. As for Blackpool, they come into this game off the back of 2 straight defeats. A disappointing 1-0 defeat to Swansea City at Bloomfield Road on the weekend. They'll be looking to revive their fortunes down in West London. Ben, let's come to you first. Live on Sky Sports, this game this evening. How do you see this one going?
It's a tough one to predict. I think obviously with QPR being at home and getting that win last week against Middlesbrough, I think they obviously have the advantage. But I think Chris Willock being out injured is a big blow. Obviously he missed a lot of last season, the second half of the season with an injury, and you're hoping that the QPR fans are hoping that it's not the kind of problems he's going to have throughout the season. You know, these niggling little problems that keep him out. They don't have enough squad depth up front as it is and out wide. And they're going to have to, utilise the players they have at the club. They've not really got much in the way of transfer budget to improve at the top end of the picture. When he's out, it's going to be a big blow and they lose a lot of creativity. I think Ethan Laird will help down that right-hand side if he does come straight in. He's a very attacking full-back, so that's another outlet they can explore. Obviously, Tyler Roberts being in there as well. He's a very creative presence. So with Willock out, I think they're going to have to rely on the likes of Roberts and Chair to make something. I assume that Blackpool may try and, after the last few results, he might try and sit back and hit QPR on the counter-attack. So it'll be interesting to see how they both set up from the start.
Yeah, obviously, as you say, Chris Willock out for tonight's game for Queen's Park Rangers. He's been an influential figure in that R's team over the last season or two. Chris, do you give Blackpool any hope this evening down in West London? Like I said, it's been 2 straight defeats for them in the league. The one victory coming here at Reading on the opening day. Do you think the Tangerines can go down to London and pick up a point at least?
I wouldn't say they've also got no chance. I do think QPR will win, but I do expect Blackpool to be competitive. I think I am a bit worried for them in terms of how the squad is looking, and you think Michael Appleton will be pushing for a few new signings ahead of the deadline, because if they don't get a few players in, I think they are going to be a side that's trying to fight off relegation. But I think, as you mentioned there, the fact they've beaten Reading already, they are a side that can compete at this level. So you're not going to be overly worried about them. Against Swansea, it was an even game that they missed their key chances and then they went on to lose late on. So yeah, you wouldn't be worried about them getting cut adrift or anything. Obviously, it's really early in the season, so it's not going to happen. But yeah, I think they do need to strengthen, but they will try and get a result tonight. And I think they'll be confident the way they did play against Swansea, but it is going to be tough because this is a tough division that we know very well. So yeah, they are going to have their work cut out this evening.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one this evening for sure. Wayne Walden's got in touch once again. He's predicting a 2-1 win for Michael Appleton's Blackpool this evening. Ben, let's get your score prediction for QPR Blackpool tonight.
I think that QPR will come out on top, maybe a 1-0. I don't see many goals in this one, but yeah, for 1-0 QPR.
Okay, Chris, what are you going for?
Yeah, with Ben, a narrow QPR win. I'll go 2-1.
Okay, 2 QPR wins there from Ben and Chris. Right, let's look at another championship fixture next. Right, let's look at Norwich City. They take on Huddersfield Town this evening at Carrow Road. It's been a dismal start for Dean Smith's side. They sit rock bottom of the Sky Bet Championship table. Meanwhile, Huddersfield picked up their first win of the second tier campaign, an impressive 3-1 win over Stoke City at the John Smith Stadium on the weekend. Pressure is certainly mounting on Dean Smith at the helm at the Canaries right now. They need points on the board. Otherwise, pressure is going to mount even further. Ben, let's come to you first. Is it tonight where we see Norwich City finally kick into gear, in your opinion?
Well, I think you certainly hope so. I mean, it's not like they haven't had chances in these games that they've not picked the points up from. I think watching the highlights from the Hull game, Aaron Ramsey missed a sitter from a couple of yards out, and he also had another chance that hit the post. So getting chances in these matches just probably a bit unlucky. I think no one would have expected Norwich to be bottom of the table after 3 games, especially with the opening 3 fixtures they did have on paper, and they surely will get on off the market at some stage. Maybe now's the right time to bring in a different attacking midfield option. I see Sinani's on the Who Scored probable lineup, so you've obviously got him as an option, or Ramsey from the start instead of the bench, or even the Brazilian Gabriel Sara, who came in from Sao Paulo. So Smith's got a lot of options to pick from. I think he has a Huddersfield team who I know beat Stoke 3-1 on Saturday, but they're still going through a bit of a transition. I think this will be the night that Dean Smith's hoping to not just get a win, but potentially try and blow a team away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Chris, Dean Smith's emphasised the fact that the performances have been good for Norwich, but it's just been the conversion of chances that's been the main issue. Are you sort of fearful for Norwich at this early stage in terms of their promotion chances, or is it just simply too early to sort of make a judgment on the Canaries?
Yeah, I think it's too early. I think they should have beat Wigan at home, and according to the stats and as I said from the highlights, they probably should have picked up a win at Hull. So obviously, if they're on, the opening day was a concern the way they played at Cardiff, but I think if they were on 6 points or even 4 points, we probably wouldn't be asking these questions now. So yeah, I think it is a bit too early. There's still a lot of quality in the ranks. Probably the one concern is they don't seem to be Pookie at the minute. We know how good he is at this level, and he's going to have to be the main man again this season. So that would be a concern that Smith hasn't really managed to pick a system to get him firing. But overall, he's a good player, and I expect him to adapt and score goals eventually in this division. So yeah, I wouldn't be too worried. I'd say they probably need another signing or two. I think left back's a bit of a problem area with injuries, but other than that, I think the performances aren't going to alarm Smith, but you need the results, don't you? So I think you'll see this as a great opportunity for them to get the first win.
Yeah, I'd imagine there'll be an expectant home crowd this evening at Carrow Road for this one. Wayne Walden got in touch again. He's predicting a 3-1 win for the Canaries this evening over Huddersfield. Ben, let's get your score prediction for Norwich Huddersfield tonight.
I agree with Wayne. I think it might be a 3-1. If it was Norwich's backline, they've got Hanley, Aarons and Gibson on Bamidele, players like that, you would think that they'd essentially keep a clean sheet, but they have looked a bit shaky in certain games. So I will go for a 3-1 win for Norwich.
Okay, Chris, what are you going for?
Yeah, predict another pretty comfortable win as well for Norwich. I'll go 2-0.
Okay, well, there we go. 2 Norwich home wins predicted by Ben and Chris for tonight's game. Right, let's look at one more championship fixture next. Preston North End take on Rotherham United in the Championship this evening at Deepdale. Ben will be there for Football League World in the press box this evening. Both teams unbeaten so far. Granted, Rotherham have only played 2 games due to the postponed fixture against Coventry. But Preston looking pretty steady so far this season. 1 win and 2 draws, while Rotherham come into this game off the back of a really impressive 4-0 victory over Reading at the New York Stadium on Saturday. Lots of speculation this morning regarding Preston striker Emil Rees. We at Football League World broke the story this morning that Middlesbrough have lodged an inquiry for the PNA forward. Whether he's involved tonight is yet to be seen. Ben, only natural to come to you first. What have you made of Preston so far this season from what you've seen? And are you sort of hopeful of some points tonight?
Yeah, I'm hopeful, definitely. I think it's been a surprise more so that we've kept 3 clean sheets in a row. You know, the defence, Ryan Lowe was happy with it going into pre-season and the start of the season, but PNE fans would probably have disagreed with me. You know, we had Jordan Storby coming back from Sheffield Wednesday on a loan deal, and Liam Lindsay's stepped into the back 3 after being kind of in and out of the team last season, and I think he left a lot to be desired of his performances, but he's been really solid this season under Ryan Lowe so far. But we've kind of stifled teams when, you know, Luton do have a lot of threats up front. We stifled them on Saturday, and Wigan and Hull have very limited chances. I don't really remember Freddie Woodman having a save to make in any of the games I've seen. So it has been an interesting start to the season. Obviously, it won't continue as in we won't keep 46 clean sheets, and I can see Rotherham posing a bit of a threat potentially in the counter-attack. I think they'll look to set up and stifle us with, you know, wing backs, but defensive wing backs, and they've got Ogbene playing up front now, and he's got pace, can trouble our back line. But I would expect us to play more attacking than we did against Luton on Saturday, and hopefully we, you know, get more than 1 goal. It'd be we need to start. I thought the floodgates would open after the Huddersfield game on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup, but it was only the 1 goal that was needed on Saturday. I'd be hopeful for a bit more tonight. It's only the Emil Rees rumours that have, you know, will it upset the camp? Will it be a bit of a distraction? Who knows? And it will be interesting to see if he's in the squad or not. If he's not, you can only assume his head's been turned by the Middlesbrough interest. But I'd hope that he'd be able to put it to the side and put in a good performance if he's chosen.
As for Rotherham, Dan Balez has continued his impressive form from last season. 3 assists he recorded last week in their 4-0 win over Reading. Chris, in terms of personnel from either side that can make an impact tonight, who do you think could have a real say on tonight's game?
Yeah, I think for Rotherham, Ogbene, he's the major threat with his pace. We know what he's obviously changed position, but he's always a threat with his direct style, and he's always, you don't want to really defend against him, do you? Because of the way he can stretch you getting behind. And I think Rotherham will probably be trying to soak up pressure and go longer, and that's probably going to be their main avenue for threat. And well, for Preston, you're probably looking at the goal that they scored last time, obviously from Potts. So if he can do anything like that again, I'm sure it'll be shown everywhere in the highlights, because that was a remarkable finish, wasn't it? So, yeah, I think obviously Ben's touched on there. The problems for Preston has been scoring goals, and with the speculation surrounding Rees, it's not ideal. But yeah, I suppose it's going to be down to someone else to step up in that gap if he isn't involved.
Yeah, absolutely right. Wayne's got in touch once again. He's predicting a 4-1 win for PNE tonight against the Millers. Ben, I'm sure you'd be delighted with that one. Chris, let's get your score prediction first.
I think it'll be a lot tighter and not as many goals, but I do think Preston will win. I'll go for 1-0 Preston.
1-0 Preston. Ben, what are you going for?
Yeah, I'd be delighted with 4-1 win. I'm not sure it's actually going to happen, though. I'll go over 2-1 win. I think Rotherham will look to frustrate us. I think I've said it in a few of these previews that these teams away from home this game week are going to look to frustrate, and I think Rotherham will be one of those teams. But hopefully, we've got enough on in the final third to get those 3 points.
Okay, there we go. PNE, the favourite for tonight's game. Right, let's delve into League One next. We've got an intriguing encounter at the Valley this evening as Charlton Athletic play host to Plymouth. Guy, always been a really strong start for Stephen Schumacher's Plymouth side. 2 wins and 1 loss so far for them. An impressive result last time out against Peterborough a 2-0 win for them. As for Charlton, it's been a mixed start under Ben Garner, but Charlton have only lost once in their last 7 games against Plymouth, so the omens are certainly in the Addicts' favour. Ben, let's come to you first. 2 sides that will be wanting to push for promotion in League One, playoffs at the very least. How do you see this one going tonight?
I think it's an interesting encounter. Charlton have had 2 tough games in the last 2 fixtures. Derby at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, and I think the Derby home win was a good one for the Addicts. Definitely adapts into a new style under Ben Garner of what they had under Johnny Jackson. I think definitely got creativity in there. I just worry about a lack of depth up front. Stockley's the main man. They've got young Miles Lieben on the bench, and he looks to be an exciting younger version of Stockley. Big powerful target man. But I would like them to get someone else in before the end of the window's competition. I think it's Plymouth. I think they've looked pretty interesting this season so far. I didn't expect them to comfortably beat Peterborough. It was a bit of an off day for them on Saturday, but it was a really solid win for Plymouth. Finn Azaz from Aston Villa on loan looks to be a really promising loan addition. He's got a couple of goals already. In Ballymumba from Norwich as well. He's looking like a good wing back option for Plymouth. I think they're using the loan market to good effect. But I think tonight the Valley will be a tough place to go, and I can probably see the team sharing the spoils here.
Yeah, Charlton's last victory at home was that 1-0 win over Derby County a week or so ago. An impressive result against a side that will be up there, you feel, this season. Chris, let's just look at any players in this Charlton and Plymouth teams tonight that could have a real say. Ben sort of briefly touched on Finn Azaz and the impact he's made since arriving on loan at Home Park. Obviously, Ryan Hardy knows where the back of the net is at this level. Who do you feel could stand out tonight for either side?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with Finn Azaz there. Obviously he scored 2 goals in his 3 league games since arriving from Villa, and I think when you listen to the fans talking about how Plymouth have been playing, he's the one that's kind of making them tick and giving them that extra bit of quality in the final third. I think it was a real coup for them to get him. There was a lot of interest, and he's someone that a lot of lower league clubs have known about from his time when he had that the loan spells at Newport in particular. So I think it was a big move for them to get him in, and everyone expected him to be a good player, and that's turning out to be the case. I think for Charlton, I think the way they played against Sheffield Wednesday was really encouraging. Really, I think Wednesday were booed off in the first half because they couldn't get near them, but they were comfortably second best. So I think that should offer signs that this team is starting to understand exactly what Garner wants. And Ben's touched on there with Stockley again. He's the key man, the focal point, and he's going to need to get in amongst the goals, you'd think. And then you've got Kirk and Blackett Taylor. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting talent, but they need to turn the possession into goals. So that's the area that you're going to need the quality to really step up.
Absolutely. Wayne once again got in touch. He's picked in a 2-1 win for Argyle this evening in South London. Ben, what's your score prediction for Charlton Plymouth tonight?
I've always predicted a share of spoil, so I will go with a 1-1 draw at the Valley.
Okay, Chris, what are you going for?
Yeah, I'm expecting a close one as well. I'll go for 2-2. I think it could be quite a good watch.
Okay, draws all round then for that game this evening. Right, let's look at another League One fixture next. Burton Albion take on Ipswich Town at the Pirelli Stadium this evening. It's been a tough start for Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's side in League One without a win. It's been a poor start, specifically that 4-4 draw at Accrington Stanley on Saturday. They were 3-0 up and managed to lose their lead. It finished 4-4 up there. As for Kieran McKenna's Ipswich, it's been a really strong start for them. They currently sit top of the Sky Bet League One table, 2 wins and 1 draw so far in what's been a very solid start for the Tractor Boys. Ben, if you look at the bookmakers' odds, it looks like it's only going to be one clear winner. You look at the form, the stats, it's all heading towards an away win tonight. Do you expect that to happen?
Probably, yeah. I think obviously Ipswich Town, top of the league, lots of attacking threat against a team leaking goals. So I think if you follow the discourse of the EFL, it's probably a bank a Burton Albion win, knowing how unpredictable the Football League can be in the early stages. But no, I think Burton's defensive issues are a bit of a worry. 11 goals conceded in 3 games, and I know that's skewed from the fact that they had a first-minute red card against Bristol Rovers before going on to concede 4. But I think the most worrying thing was the collapse against Accrington on Saturday. They were 4-2 up going into stoppage time, and they conceded in 90th minute and 96 minutes to draw 4-4, and that's with experienced players on the pitch like Deji Oshilaja and John Brayford. So very worrying times for Burton. They clearly need a few more bodies in there. They can't have any excuses from that game against Accrington. They weren't particularly depleted or anything like that, and doesn't exactly get easy for Jimmy Floyd Hasselback out of Ipswich coming. They've added a few more bodies to the squad this summer. Marcus Harness already proven his worth, and for even Janoy Donasian's, as an overlapping right-sided centre-back, he's got a couple of assists and looks pretty exciting going forward. I think Kieran McKenna's got them all on the same page now. He was showing some promising signs last season, but he just fell away from the playoff challenge. But they look all primed for a promotion push this season.
Yeah, there's certainly an element of consistency as well in terms of the starting 11 that Kieran McKenna is selecting, which must bode well for sort of team chemistry. Let's just touch on players tonight that could make a difference. Obviously, Keeler Dunn scoring a hat-trick for Burton Albion up at Accrington on Saturday. Was unlucky not to get the win for Burton. Obviously, you spoke about Marcus Harness as well. He's starting to score goals in an Ipswich Town shirt. Wes Burns is always a threat. Chris, who stands out for you tonight?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, if we could go through the Ipswich team, because it does, as Ben mentioned there, the squad looks very good. And you said they've picked the 11 now, and you've got, Wes Burns is always good down the right whenever I see Ipswich play. And then, the Harness was a good signing when they brought him in. So, we're really good. Ladapo hasn't made the impact just yet, but he's leading the line, and it's another good proven option. Morsey in the middle, so you can see why they're the firm favourites for tonight and for promotion, because the team does look very good. And Keeler Dunn will want to build on the hat trick he got for Burton, but really, if you're looking at the 2 11s, you are seeing a bit of a difference in class and experience. So it's hard not to look at Ipswich for this one.
Yeah, Wayne Walden fancying a 3-1 win for Ipswich Town tonight at Burton. Ben, what are you going for your score prediction for Burton Ipswich tonight?
I'm going to go a bit more comfortable with Ipswich not conceding a goal. I'm going to have a 2-0 win for them.
2-0. Chris, what are you going for?
Yeah, I think a pretty straightforward win. I'll go 3-0 Ipswich.
Okay, there we go. Both Ben and Chris opting for Ipswich to beat Burton tonight. Right, one more League One fixture to look at next. Peterborough take on Sheffield Wednesday this evening in League One. A match between 2 promotion contenders in League One for sure. Darren Moore's Wednesday currently sits second in the League One table. Peterborough in 4th right now. Wednesday unbeaten so far this season. Posh, 2 wins and 1 loss. That 1 loss coming on the weekend at Plymouth. Ben, will come to you. Wednesday tipped by many to be automatic promotion contenders this season. They're certainly showing what they're all about so far, going unbeaten. How do you see this one going tonight? This could be a test at London Road tonight, because Posh are good at home.
Yeah, they are. I think it's no surprise that Sheffield Wednesday are one of the promotion favourites. Looking at the summer recruitment, a lot of experienced top-end League One, kind of bottom-end Championship players have come into the fold at Hillsborough, and I think keeping Josh Windass as well is massive, but keeping fit's obviously a bigger challenge. But I definitely think they've got the toughest task so far here out of the first 3-4 games. I think Peterborough have some very good attacking threats. We know that what Johnson, Clark Harrison and Jack Marriott can do. Obviously, they were very disappointing Peterborough at Plymouth on Saturday, and I think they were that disappointing that Grant McCann made 4 changes at half-time, so he clearly wasn't happy with what he saw, and he did the same against Charlton on the opening day. He switched the system at half-time, he brought different players on, and that seemed to work. So I think he's still getting a feel for what the best system is to go with, what the best team is. And I can see Sheffield Wednesday kind of frustrating Peterborough here. It might end up being another mid-match change for Grant McCann to try and, if it's not going well, to try and change the system to try and break Sheffield Wednesday down. But they do look very solid in defence, albeit they did concede 3 on the opening day against Portsmouth, but since then they have looked very solid. So I can see it being a close game, but I think it may suit Sheffield Wednesday more to sit back and try and hit them on the break.
Yeah, interestingly, Sheffield Wednesday haven't won at Peterborough since 2003. So that is an interesting statistic that could have an impact tonight. We shall see. Chris, there are players within both sides here that can score goals. We know what Johnson, Clark-Harris and Jack Marriott can do at this level in particular. Josh Windass as well can score goals at this level. Who do you see standing out tonight and making an impact on this one?
Yeah, well, I think when Wednesday went to MK Dons, they did get the win, but they sat back and, as Ben said, they soaked up pressure. And I think Peterborough will dominate the ball tonight. So I think it will be down to Clark-Harris and Marriott if they do start. As you said, we know what they can do at this level. Sometimes they do need the service though, so it's going to be down to the midfield to feed them, because if they do get chances, they will score. But Wednesday are a tough nut to crack now with the system, the way they play, the experience they've got. I think for the Owls, I think Bannon's not started the season great. He's been getting taken off in matches. They're not sure if he's fully fit, so they're one that they're monitoring closely. So he was obviously the key man for them last season. So without him, we've mentioned Josh Windass is the threat. But I think the win at the weekend showed that Moore does have quality off the bench, with Baconson coming off and scoring the winner, and that could be a way he has to turn. Obviously, the substitute. The 5 sub rule does benefit the bigger clubs. I believe anyway, and I think Lee Gregory coming back as well. He could be an important one for them if he's fit. So yeah, I think Wednesdays might need to use the squad tonight. Expect a tight game, and it's be an early marker really, because I think these two will both be in the mix in the top 6 come May.
Yeah, you mentioned the word experience there. If you look at the graphic on the screen, Sheffield Wednesday's average age in comparison to Peterborough. Wednesday's 29.2 average age compared to Peterborough's 23.6. Quite a contrast in terms of average age there. Wayne Warden is back again with another prediction. Sheffield Wednesday 3-2. He fancies goals tonight at London Road. Ben, what's your score prediction for Posh Wednesday tonight?
I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to get a 1-0 win either on the counter-attack or from a set piece.
That would be their 3rd consecutive 1-0 win if it was to be the case. Chris, what are you going for tonight?
I think it'll be a really close game. I'm going to go for 1-1 and sit on the fence.
Okay, 1-1. Right, let's delve into League 2 next. Swindon Town take on Leyton Orient tonight at the County Ground. It's been a great start for Orient. They currently sit top of the League 2 table, winning every game so far. As for Scott Lindsay's Swindon, they are yet to win this campaign so far. A slow start for the Robins, but they'll be hoping to put that right tonight in Wiltshire against Orient. Ben, we'll come to you first. Orient have not lost at Swindon in 6 visits. How do you see this one going tonight?
Well, it's not been the best start for Swindon, has it? They've had 1 loss and 2 draws. Not exactly going. They've not exactly got going. Sorry, under the new head coach Scott Lindsay. I think if you asked Swindon fans a question, he probably wouldn't have been the majority of fans' choices for Ben Garner's replacement. But it's a kind of a natural succession, stepping up from being the assistant coach. If the results don't start coming soon, then I can see him being a man under pressure, especially when he got to the playoffs last season. I know they've lost a few key players since then, but I think they've got a lot of players in the squad that would be considered top League 2 individuals. But I think for Leyton Orient, I think it's definitely the Richie Wellens effect. I think it's been known that he's a good head coach. It's just, I think his Salford kind of stint didn't work out too well. He's got a good mix of youth and some experience in that Orient team. The likes of Darren Pratley mixing with George Monker, Paul Smythe, Mizuni's now signed from Ipswich. It's a real good blend of a squad, and I think they can probably go to Swindon tonight, play some good football, and I wouldn't be shocked if they came away from all 3 points. I've not been very convinced by Swindon this season so far.
Yeah, that's been an underwhelming start for Swindon for sure. Chris, any players tonight you feel could make a say? We know Harry McCurdy and what he can do at this level. You just have to look at his goal record last season for Swindon. Anyone else you feel could make an impact tonight?
I think Ben Gladwin's one. You always think he's got the quality to show. Obviously, he's had an inconsistent few years now, but he does have ability. But yeah, I think the main one, I know you've mentioned it, but he's McCurdy, isn't it? He was one of the main men last season. They've obviously lost a lot of key players, a few to Charlton, and along with the manager. But yeah, he's the one. McCurdy's the one they're going to have to try and get firing again if they are going to get up the table. You never say you want to build around one player because obviously it is a team game, but he does seem central to that if they are going to have a successful season like they did last season in terms of reaching the playoffs. So yeah, I think I can understand the concerns with how they started, but there's obviously it's still early days, so you don't want to get too downbeat, but they do need to pick up the performances quite quickly.
Yeah, I think a lot is built upon a strong defensive foundation in that Orient team. They're yet to concede in this League Two season. Shout out to Lawrence Vigouroux. He's had an impressive start to the campaign. Right, Wayne's been in touch once again with his prediction for this one. He's predicting 1-0 Swindon. I'm sure Robins fans would like to see that come to fruition tonight. Chris, what's your score prediction for Swindon Orient tonight?
Yeah, I think it'd be another quite low-scoring one because obviously we mentioned Swindon struggles in front of goals, and as you said, Leyton Orient have been very impressive. Obviously, not letting a goal yet, so I think I'll go for 1-1. So they will concede, but a tough game and a decent point for them. Ben,
what are you opting for tonight?
I'm going to go over 2-1. Leyton Orient win on the road. Have had a strong start, and I can see it continuing.
Okay, right. One more game to touch on in League Two next. Newport County play host to Salford City this evening in League Two at Rodney Parade. Salford have enjoyed a strong start to the League Two campaign, unbeaten so far this season. As for James Rovery's Newport, they are without a win so far this campaign. Salford come into this game off the back of an impressive 3-0 win on Saturday. Brandon Thomas Asante scoring 2 in what's been a fine start to the season for him. Ben, how do you see this one going tonight?
I think Newport will be very, disappointing. Obviously, I know they've lost Dom Telford to Crawley Town in the summer on a free, but I think they'll still be disappointed with the start to this season. You thought it would have had confidence in the win over Luton in the Carabao Cup, but they lost to Bradford, albeit with 10 men, with Declan Drysdale getting sent off at the end of the first half. And I think there's major pressure to start delivering results now for James Rovery. But I think they've got a tough task ahead of them. Salford, they've won both games at home. They drew on the road in the second game against Crewe, even though they had a lot of chances that game. And like you said, Brandon Thomas Asante's the man in form right now. And I did a piece at the weekend saying that if my club Preston or Fender still looking at strikers, then he should be one on the radar. 23 years old. He's got 13 goals last season for Salford. He's started, I think, 4 goals and 2 assists in 4 games in all competitions. That's pretty impressive, and he'll be looking to get on the score sheet again tonight. He looks to be a very electric player at this level, and Newport's defence will have the work cut out, and that'll be a defence without one of the starters in Drysdale as well, so they can potentially take advantage of that. And I think Salford overall look a bit better than the last couple of seasons. They've gone through a couple of different managers, but Neil Wood now, who's come from Manchester United, more of a head coach than a manager, it looks like. Early days, but the style of football and the results, early season results getting is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Salford have won 3 of their last 5 games at Rodney Parade, which is a statistic that certainly favours them. Chris, any players tonight you feel can make an impact on this game? Obviously, Thomas Asante being the obvious one, given his start to the season. Can we see someone like Omar Bogle scoring tonight? He's had a pretty goal-dry time at the Welsh club so far. But who do you see making an impact tonight?
Yeah, I think for Newport, is Bogle. He's obviously going to be the one leading the line, so the focal point as well. He obviously does bring more to the team than his goals, which is obviously he hasn't been scoring enough. But he's someone you can play off, and he can help the players. And he's probably going to be needed tonight against the Salford side that I probably do expect to dominate the ball. I know the last the last 2 games they're playing against 10 men at times, so it has helped. But I think Elliot Watt was a good signing to get him in from Bradford. He obviously came through at Wolves, so followed him his career to see how he's done, and he has impressed to that level. Maybe thought he was going to get a higher move in the summer after the way he played for Bradford, but I think for Salford to get him in was a good signing. He brings that bit of quality in the middle of the park, which has helped them control games and keep the ball. So yeah, I am edging towards an away win for this one, and I think this could be the year where Salford actually do go up.
Okay, Wayne once again opting for a Salford win, 2-1. He fancies tonight to beat Newport. Ben, what's your prediction for Newport Salford?
I agree with Wayne. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Salford win.
Okay, Chris, what are you going for?
Yeah, sticking with the lads. I'll go for 1-0 Salford.
Is that right?
Right, well, that brings an end to the EFL Tuesday night preview show here on Football League World TV. Thanks for everyone that tuned in to watch this show. Thanks for all the comments that came in. If you're watching this on repeat on YouTube, please do stick a like in below this video and subscribe to FLW TV on YouTube. It really does help us grow as a channel. If you're off to watch an EFL match this evening, enjoy. Hopefully your team picks up the 3 points. Ben, Chris, thanks for joining me on this afternoon's show. Until next time, we shall see you soon.